Hey guys, it's Maggie.
And Zach.
And we are heading, and Bruno. We've got Bruno here. And we do have Tyler, but he's working. We are heading into Philadelphia again because I have my gynecology appointment that I was telling you about in the last video. If you missed that one, I was just diagnosed with adenomyosis. So we are hoping to find out some answers, maybe how I don't know how severe it is. I don't think it's very severe. It's focal from my understanding, and I just have questions about it and what I should be doing, or do I even need to worry about this? So hopefully I'll get those answered. I don't know if they'll do any tests today or exams. I guess I'll see when I get there, but I will be going in alone. Zach and Tyler and Bruno, I think, are gonna go
take a little walk.
Yeah, they're gonna go to a park again near my hospital, and
I think it's the Man Art Center. It's called
Man Art Center,
or it's like a big lot of just open lands around there, and there's a few little historic or cultural buildings. So.
Okay, well, they're gonna head there while I'm getting things stuck up inside of me potentially. That's fun. I will let you guys know how this appointment goes.
Yeah, so adenomyosis is kind of like a, let me see if I can get a picture. It's kind of like a subset of endometriosis. So endometriosis is when you get these like the cells that line your uterus that build up and then shed every month with your period and not getting pregnant. Specifically, those cells end up in other places within your pelvis and your abdomen that they're really not supposed to be. And adenomyosis is a very specific type where actually those cells end up in the muscle of your uterus, and so they can cause like painful periods, they can cause like heavy clotting periods.
Hey guys, so I am now sitting down in my filming bedroom, office, whatever you want to call it. As you just saw, I had my gynecologist appointment yesterday where I basically went to find out what adenomyosis meant for me, because I don't know anybody with it. Well, now I know a ton of people with it because of you guys, but before I talked about it on YouTube, I knew nobody, I had never heard of it, and truly didn't know what it meant for me. I got so much info in this appointment. It was amazing, and my gynecologist is awesome. When I went in for that appointment, the nurse who took my vitals before the appointment was like, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Well, I've got this thing called adenomyosis. They caught it on an MRI." And she was like, "Come again? Like, what are you talking about? What is that?" And I said, basically, I don't know yet, but I know it's related to endometriosis. And she was like, "Okay, I will see if I can pull up your results, and we can just get your gynecologist in here to tell you what this means." Now, pretty much everybody in the comments who has dealt with this or knows a bit about it was right. I know I had said that I didn't want to get ahead of myself, and I still kind of did, and a lot of you reminded me, just wait for your appointment. So I'm really glad that I did. I saw a lot of you saying, don't be concerned about fertility because you never know. Like, you just don't know what's going to happen with it. And that was pretty much what I was told. So it is kind of a coincidence that I had my first weird cycle last month. And I even told her, I was like, I wouldn't have even called you and told you about this if I hadn't gotten the MRI result. And it's like really bizarre, really coincidental that I had that first weird cycle ever, other than my pooling issue, which I also talked to her about. And then this was caught. So I don't know if it just literally just started. But what I will say is that symptom-wise, like, I'm not in pain. I have a painful first day of my period, but otherwise I'm good. At least right now. At least right now I'm good. So what she told me is that adenomyosis is essentially a form of endometriosis, and that if I have adeno, I probably have endo. And I did explain to her that I recently had kidney surgery, in which my surgeon went in and removed a lot of scar tissue and adhesions. I said, do you think maybe it was really endometriosis that he was removing? I feel like he would have recognized the difference between, I don't know, like scar tissue that built up because I've had multiple abdominal surgeries versus like actual endometriosis disease, or like, you know, the cells and whatnot. And she said that scar tissue was probably more from my multiple surgeries, but still she said it was likely that I do have endometriosis. But obviously you cannot diagnose endometriosis without surgery, because I think it's the laparoscopy. I don't know, I can't say laparoscopy. I don't think that's right. We've had this discussion before about this, how people say endoscopy, and I'm like, endoscopy, endoscopy. But yes, you do basically an exploratory surgery to see if you see that tissue, because it doesn't show up on scans, which I've been aware of. You know, I am sort of familiar with endometriosis because I've had friends who have had endometriosis and have had hysterectomies. So that's how she said we would diagnose that. And I was like, okay, well, I'm asymptomatic for the most part, so I'm not really concerned about that at this point in time. I told her my concerns were, you know, it getting worse. Is there something I'm supposed to be doing to treat this? And fertility was probably my main concern with this. So what she said, treatment-wise, the way that we would handle it is birth control. And then if it gets bad enough, the ultimate treatment is a hysterectomy, which obviously a lot of you guys have told me you've had them, and that scares me. But I also think I'm far away from that at this point, because it was a focal spot and I don't have a lot of symptoms. The other treatment that she recommended, and she wrote basically a referral for, is pelvic floor therapy. She said, you know, you should get into pelvic floor therapy because already you've had all this surgery. Your muscles are probably not strong where they're supposed to be, or there might be some muscles that are too strong. So she said that going into pelvic floor therapy, they'd be able to evaluate all of my muscles in there and see what needs to be worked on, and then recommend exercises for me. So I did call the place. It's Saturday today when I'm filming this, so I gotta wait for a call, probably Monday, but I'm going to jump on that. She also said it would help me keep a healthier pregnancy if I am able to get pregnant. And what she told me about that is that normally she would say to people who are actively trying to get pregnant, you know, if they were totally healthy, try for a year, and if things don't happen, then come back to her. And my office is connected with some fertility clinic, or they have some relationship with a fertility clinic, and she actually already spoke to, I guess, one of their doctors at this fertility clinic to talk about me and my concerns, and they already said that they would, you know, recommend me going to them to, you know, if I have issues. Now, because of my history of all of the abdominal surgery, plus this new adenomyosis, she is recommending that if we try, and I'm saying if because I don't want anybody jumping on this, if we try and we try for 6 months to get pregnant and I don't, then I should call her instead of waiting for a year, because there's probably something up. And what she told me, she actually asked me, do you know, track your cycle? Do you do the ovulation kits? And I said, yeah, I do. And she said, okay, what do they look like? And I said, well, I get my period regularly, first of all. Second of all, I ovulate pretty much the same day every cycle. It's very, like, I can predict all the parts of my cycle really well. Like, they're pretty much on time. So she said, yeah, like that is great, and that's why I recommend that you come in after 6 months if you're not able to get pregnant. So, yeah, and then she also said if my cycle is weird, next month also, that she'll do a transvaginal ultrasound or a pelvic ultrasound to specifically look at that area, because she said with the MRI, you know, they're really focusing on your IBD. And that's what they're looking for. They weren't really looking for this or any issues with your uterus. So we'll do that and see if we can see anything else. But yeah, so I'm not totally discouraged. I'm a little scared about hysterectomies, but I also I know how my body feels and I feel good. Like I feel okay. I know a lot of you had said you had suffered really bad pain, and that is not something that I'm feeling right now, which I'm very fortunate to not have that pain. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. If I think something's funny, I will let my doctor know, but I'm going to move forward with the pelvic floor therapy. I really think it'll be helpful. The other thing that she told me, she said, a lot of people think that just doing Kegels over and over again is going to help them, and it can actually be more harmful than helpful in some cases, because sometimes the muscles that are being worked out with Kegels are getting too strong to the point where they're spasming. So she actually asked me, she's like, are you having painful sex? Like, if you are, that might be a reason. And pelvic floor therapy would be able to better, train those muscles and make sure that, ones aren't getting too strong and ones aren't too weak. So, yeah, I will get on that as soon as I possibly can. Anyway, that is my update for you on my gynecology appointment. It really made me feel better. I obviously did get ahead of myself. Google is terrible. Don't Google anything, guys. I scared myself a little bit, but honestly, what I read was true. It's just, it's the severity of this. Where are you at with the progression of the disease? Yeah, so we will see what happens, and obviously, if any other things happen, any news, I will keep you updated on that, because that's definitely something, if it were to happen, I want to share about. Yes, okay, I'm going to stop talking. This is my update for you, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all of the support on my video where I told you guys I have adenomyosis, and thank you for bringing me down, grounding me, because I was a little bit scared. All right, guys, I'll continue to update you, and I hope you are feeling good. Bye.